All right, it started already. So we're going to go forward, and I will say, welcome to the weekly shir. My stand and the camera don't get along exactly. So here we are. It's a weekly shir Zera Shimshon. It is the seventh day of Av, and it's Thursday. Okay, and this is, I should say, Menachem Av, okay, but we're going to try to say over something shorter, and because all the stuff inside in Hebrew is actually longer. It's very fascinating, but I don't want to burden everybody with their time, so everybody's rushing to get to Shabbos to eat meat. Okay, anyway. The voice of the sound of the voice. Heard this before? Okay. Vayishma Hashem es koil hamidivreichem vayiktzoi vayishova leimor. Hashem heard the sound of your words, and he was incensed, and he swore, saying. Now, what does that mean, the sound of the words? Why does the Torah need to use the word, the koil divreichem, right? The sound. Clearly, there is a lesson that we are meant to learn from. Every word in the Torah has a lesson to learn, but this one we're going to learn a very interesting lesson. Clearly, there is a lesson that we are meant to learn from this seemingly extra word, since the Torah could have just said, Hashem heard your words, which he always does. Zera Shimshon explains that this by turning to a pasuk in Sefer Iyov. Eve's friend, Elihu, tells him, I am full of words. The spirit inside my belly distresses me. The pasuk in Eov 32. Sometimes a person can't stop himself from giving his friend a piece of his mind. Okay? His stomach or his heart is full, and he can't hold himself back from speaking. In such a case, a person shouldn't pay attention to the words emerging from his friend's mouth, because they are coming from a place of anger. But Eov's friend implied that he had a very important reason for saying what he was about to say. Although, as he said, I am filled with words, he was about to say, the spirit inside my belly distresses me, okay? Which showed that he couldn't restrain himself from telling his friend Eov what he thought. He added, after saying what he wanted to say, lend me your ears to the sound of my words. Okay? In other words, listen to the voice, the underlining intonation of what I am saying, and not just the words themselves. Don't think that because I am angry, my words are not worth hearing. Instead, pay attention to the voice, the sound, the level-headed tone of what I am saying, and you will understand that everything I'm telling you is important. If Eov's friend would have only listen to my words, Eov would have turned away and not paid attention. Why should he listen to someone who has just admitted that he is very emotional and upset? That is why the friend stressed that Eov should pay attention not just to the words themselves, but to the sound of the words and to their implications and the way that he was expressing himself. Pay attention, he was saying, and you will understand that everything I'm saying is for your own good. Although my words may appear to be harsh, if you stop and really listen to my tone, you will understand that I have your best interests at heart. Says Zera Shimshon, this is what Moshe Rabbeinu was saying when he said, Hashem heard the sound of your words. The Jewish people had vilified Hashem by sinning with the spies. To some extent, they weren't responsible for their words, since they were frightened by the description of Eretz Yisrael that the spies gave. The fear caused them to lose themselves and speak in a way that was inappropriate. The problem, Moshe said to them, was that Hashem was listening not only to your words, but to the sound of your voices, your intonation. When you spoke, it was with Yishuv Hadas. You weren't confused. You knew exactly what you were saying, and you expressed your feelings pointedly, choosing your words to express maximum disrespect. This is why Hashem was angry at you for denouncing the land, not so much because of what you said. In theory, a case could be made that you were speaking out of fear, but because of the way you stated your complaints deliberately and with cool heads, the fact that you knew exactly what you were doing and saying, said Moshe Rabbeinu, made everything that you said infinitely worse. And that's why we have a Tisha B'Av for 3,000 years. All right, anyway, over 3,000 years, all right. We need to correct those. Yeah, it's very interesting. That's from the Zera Shimshon in our Parshas Devarim and Ois Hay. So, there we go. So have a wonderful Erev Tisha B'Av. Enjoy all your meat and whatever you want. And have an easy fast. Kol Tov Zaygebesh.